to family and values, and this is Galactic Television. You heard it. You heard it from our many features. Splitting bills with your partner. When you split bills, is it 50-50, 70-40, 70-30, 80-20, or 60-40? How responsible when you do this? What comes to your mind? Or do you think it's something that you have to sit down and discuss? Or something you just voluntarily say, okay, my lord, let's do this. Let's do this. We can split it. I know it's going to be a lot of weight. Do you discuss it? Or you just go and just take over like that? Because you earn more than your partner. Is it about earning more than your partner? Or just something that needed to be done for ease when it comes to expenses in a relationship, in a family, to build a home? This morning we'll be discussing with a very beautiful dancer. Barika Juma to all our Muslim brothers and sisters out there. Like I always tell you, let us dispose those things that comes, as Muslim brothers and sisters, family, homes. Let's talk about it. We're always here to discuss. This morning we'll be talking with a beautiful sister, Alhaja Dr. Aishat Aditula. She is a certified marriage counselor, a social entrepreneur, and also a family and relationship coach. Okay? It's so good to have you. Good morning, Alhaja.
Yes,
What should I call you?
good morning.
Alhaja. Aishat.
Good
Aishat,
morning.
which one do you want me to call you now? Because today is June. By the way,
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
good
morning.
morning.
Yes, I hope you can hear me very. Am I audible?
Which one do you want me to call you? Doctor or Alhaja?
Sure, you can call me doctor if you don't want to be biased.
Okay, so this morning we're looking at a topic that talks about splitting bills. Splitting bills with your partner and how responsible. Okay, when we say splitting bills, what comes to mind as a certified marriage counselor, a relationship and and a family coach? What comes to mind when couples come to you and say, she wants me to be splitting bills? Why do we need to split bills? And how responsible we want me to do that?
Okay, thank you so much. And let me say happy new month in advance as we get into today's the last day of October. When we talk about splitting bills, the first thing we need to ask is, are we competing or we are complementing each other? Is it based on our set goal to achieve it for the purpose, for the benefit of the family, for the growth of the family? Why should splitting bit be an issue in marriage? Since it's about, supporting the family, achieving the goal for the benefit of the family, and it's for us to complement, it shouldn't be a bone of contention at all. And that is why we need to get it. Which angle are we looking at it? Emotionally, financially, or cultural wise? Which angle are we looking at it will determine. Don't forget, money is one of the overall problems areas that we face in marriage. And it needs to be really discussed, even before marriage.
Comes to splitting bills within couples, most times most people make it feel like it's mandatory. There's a difference between it being mandatory and it being you doing it willingly. So how should they understand that it should be done willingly? Because I find it very, very, well, I say very unnecessary or very outrageous for partners to sit down and say, or for a man to sit his wife down and say, okay, we need to split the bills in this house. I would bring 60, you bring 40. If you marry a woman, you know the type of woman you marry. She should be the one to do it willingly. If you try to do it, you say, oh no, babe, don't worry, I would cater for the kids, I would take care of the groceries while you pick up the others. But just help us analyze this, because I've seen men and I've heard men do this with their wives, trying to split bills intentionally, bring them to the table and say, oh, I want to do 60, you want to do 40, which is not even meant to be.
Okay, that is perspective, your own perspective. In today's world, the world itself is evolving. And one of the things we need to know that as the world is evolving, relationships also has to evolve. And so have the financial responsibility in family. So one of the sensitive yet necessary conversation as a couple that we need to discuss even before marriage, and that is one of the things we advise people to go for premarital counseling. When we talk about splitting bills, like I said, the issue on ground is, are we splitting the bills to support each other for the benefit of the family, or we are competing with each other? Splitting bills shouldn't be an issue. If you look at the world we are living today, like I said, it's evolving. One of the things you will see now is, in the olden days, during the period of our mother, great-grandmother, our grandfather goes to the farms, provide all the necessary things for the homes, while our mothers sit at home to prepare the food and take care of the home. Because the food they are going to eat, the shelter, it's already been provided for them by our father. But today, you see that the economy is not smiling. And if we should say, okay, now the responsibility of a man is to provide financially for the home, for the family. Seriously, when you look at the world, the economy is not even encouraging it. And that is why you see that most men today, they are being vulnerable too. But because of our culture and religious misconception, people believe men are not vulnerable. When you ask men to take care of all the financial responsibility of the home, the question you need to look at is he capable? And that is why in premarital counseling, we take intended couples through, are you financially capable? The Christian and the Muslims religion preach that before you can settle for marriage, you must be financially capable, emotionally capable, physically capable. The question is, you need to be financially capable before you can go into the marriage. But today, you will see that most of our youth now, once, especially in the female gender child, once they are done with the school education, university, they believe the next thing is for them to go and marry. Some of them that go for the skill acquisition, they believe when they are taking their freedom, the next thing is to marry. And that is bring us to the word of, what do you bring to the table to the girl child now? The slang in the word now, people are using that. What do you bring to the table? It's the men. Are they capable financially to take care of the financial responsibility at home? If not, why not support? Why not for the benefit of the family? And this is one of the things we need to know. There's a need for us to understand the financial responsibility in our family. Splitting bill doesn't mean counting every coin or turning love into a business transaction. It means we need to be financially responsible together. Both parties has to be financially responsible together. It is not a matter of ego. It is not a matter of gender. It is a matter of make the family work, achieving the goals that we've already set. Benefit for the family. That is what we need to look at. It is not about, you are a man and a woman. The man is the one to support, to be responsible. When you look at some community today, you will discover that the majority of the landlords there, they are female, they are women. You hardly see some community LGA that they used to do every month-end meeting in their community. You see women there. And when you look at the earth, though I don't have the correct data for that, I think if you look at the death rate, I want to believe the slumming, he fall down, he slums, he die. The rate is very high when you look at the male gender side to the female gender. And this is where we need to know that men also are being vulnerable. But because of the culture that has caged them not to express their vulnerability. So when we want to split the bills, we need to consider, why are we splitting it? Is it for the benefit of the family? Why did we sign together forever? Till death do us part. Why can't we support each other? If it is for the benefit for the family and for us as a couple to achieve our goals. When we do this, we understand the financial responsibility, sharing bills together won't be an issue in marriage.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was very extensive.
You just dealt with the Gen Z way, perspective of this. It's time for us to take this short break. Dr. Aisha Adetula. We'll be right back. So we want to take our word on marble. Don't go anywhere. Doctor, stay there, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, viewers at home. Let's take our word of marble and we'll continue this discussion shortly. Stay tuned. It's still family and values, and we've been talking about splitting bills with your partner. How responsible is that? I've been talking with Alhaja Dr. Mrs. Aishat Aditula. Okay, she is a certified marriage counselor from the United States, and also she brings in and out. She's a family and relationship coach as well, and don't forget the social entrepreneur. So this morning, Doctor, as we continue with this discussion, I love the fact that you said, welcome back. I love the fact that you said that how financially, you need to check how financially capable are you. Male, female going into marriage. It doesn't have to be just the male. Okay, it doesn't have to be just the female. It's not a matter of gender or cultural background. Now, I want to ask, as much as this couple are coming together for counseling and they're financially capable, someone was asking, the man earns like 5 million per annum and the wife earns like 10 million per annum. How do you, of course they are right, I want to believe they are financially capable, you know, to run their family. So it boils down to how we plan it. But the question I want to ask is this: how, you know, someone was asking that question. I wish I had posted that anyway. Someone was asking, who pays more, the wife or the husband? That's my first question. The second question I want to ask you: how should the two of them, you know, sit down? Do they need to have a counselor with them to discuss the basis on how they manage, you know, the house rent, the bills, and other things? Do they need to sit down together? Does it have to be a mandatory thing by the man, or the two of them agree willingly on their own to take off on planning on who pays what or how they split the bills? That's my two questions for you.
Okay, thank you, Honoré. With this question you ask, this is where the power of communication comes in. And when we talk about communication, it's one of the topics we normally treated under premarital counseling for intending couples. When we talk about communication, communication is not real oil in a marriage. It is an engine. It is a foundation. Because we discover that, like I said, that money is one of the issues that cause conflicts in a marriage, even in relationship. And the responsible thing is not just about the issue of how do we split the bill, but discuss how and why are we doing this. And that is why it is necessary to know the purpose of why we are going into marriage in the first place. Some of them intending couple, they got it right from the definition of marriage. And once you can't get it right from that definition, there's no way you will get your purpose right. Why are we getting married? Am I getting married for companionship's sake? Is it for procreation? Is it to, you know, for us to have the fun? Why am I going into this marriage? If we are going into marriage not for competing, we are to complement each other. Why do we have to be arguing? And if a woman is earning more than the wife, we don't need to be having issue on who pay what. What we should be discussing is, this is where the joint issue of financial joint account under finance, under premarital counseling comes in. We can have a joint account whereby we can be dropping a certain percentage of the money. But before then, you need to sit down and communicate what and how are we going to be spending each week. We need to budget. What is our budget? Weekly? Monthly? Then how do we now finance it? If we can know our budget, how do we finance won't be an issue, because I as a woman earn more than my husband. I shouldn't be expecting, because he is my husband, it doesn't mean he should pay the higher percentage of the finance of the home. If I am to complement him, why can't I support him with the finance and we sort out the issue at home? And you cannot give what you don't have. Most of us don't have the knowledge of supporting in marriage. The way culture trained caged us It's like men is the head of the family. You will look at the Western world. There's nothing like you give 30, I give 40. It is 50-50 splitting because the bill has already been ascertained. The system has already, it has been structured there. So we know how much we are paying every month. We know what the cost of the food is. Okay, is it that you take the rent for the monthly rent, or I take the food in the house, providing for the food stuff in the house? Or you are going to be paying for the bill of the phone, I will be paying for the car. This is not about 50-50. It is about discussing on how and why are we doing this. And this is the power of communication. So when you talk about who pays what, partnership in splitting bill, it should be a partnership, it shouldn't be competing with each other. Splitting bill is about partnership. Like I said, it is not who paid more, but how can we make this work? How can we achieve our goal? How can the family move forward? How can we move better? If the communication gap is being a kind of shaking, or if it is not properly, if the communication is not healthy, if it is not effective, there's no way we can have the splitting of the bill comfortable for each other. And if care is not taken, it will lead to frustration. It can lead to a lot of conflict, disagreements. And if care is not taken, it can be violence. And that is where you see some women complaining about husband not being responsible financially. Do we want to say if a man is not financially capable, not intentionally, some are not responsible, not out of willingness, it's out of situation. Does it mean we can't have a happy marriage? This is all what we need to do. But because of the lack of premarital counseling, the culture didn't prepare us, the religion did not prepare us for the challenges ahead in marriage, we find it difficult to navigate. Finance is one of the challenges we're going to face in marriage. So when we're saying splitting bill, the power of communication has to come in. There's a need for couple to sit down, budget their plan for the monthly, weekly, or anyhow they want to have it. It is them. Then the second question, like, do they need to call a counselor? During the premarital counseling, we normally take the intended couples through all this. How do we do it? And they ask questions. This will give them the opportunity to have the question of clarification on some of those issues. So when we're talking about issue, we can, our as a counselor is not for us to give them advice of what to do. It is to guide. A coach is just to guide you on the a different option you can choose from. Not for a counselor to put you that this is the way you should do it. The joint and individual account is there. Some people will ask you, is it compulsory for us to have a joint account? It is their own thing. It is their choice to make. A coach cannot tell you that you should do it by force, by fire. But what matters is you need to know your budget. Your budgeted plan is how do we now finance it? It has to be with the both consent. One person cannot say, because I am financially capable. What about, like you said, the first question, that if a woman is earning more than the husband, does it mean they won't have happy home? If there can be a disagreement, understanding each other. If we can understand each other and there's an effective communication, why not? If not, it's not about 50-50. It is about the benefit to the family. It is about the goal. What is our goal? That should be what should matter in when we're talking about the splitting of the finance in the marriage.
Let's take the Gen Z question now.
Honestly, you just explained what I initially said, right? But the thing is, right now we have so many men out there that are not even giving their wives this. They're not even giving listening ears to want to split bills with their wife. They want to sort the bills by themselves. There are men like that. They want to do the entire thing. So how do we make them understand that it's not all about you handling the home, because you are capable of handling the home, but it's more of how your wife feels about herself and how more support she wants to contribute to the family, because it's a family, it's not a solo thing. It's both of you doing it together. So how would you make your husband understand that you need to contribute your quota to the family without having to create an issue out of it or forcing him to do what you want?
When you're talking in this aspect, we are talking about genders and cultural perspective. And when you look at the culturally, many society expects men to shoulder most, if not all, financial responsibility. And there's honor in that, of course. Everyone wants to be, that baby girl of my husband is the one financing everything at home. But one thing as a woman that is reality is about the finance of the home. There's no amount of money your husband can give you, especially this economy we are living. There can be enough, most especially when children are involved. There's no amount of money. It was the day in the years ago that we say, oh, women used to do daily contribution out of the Obìnrin máa ń dá wàjà. Sorry for the non-Yoruba speaking people, viewers. Then they will say, obìnrin máa ń dá àjọ nínú owó ọbẹ̀ tí ọkọ bá fún. Today, there's no amount of money your man can give you, or husband can give you, that will be enough. So when you're talking about how can a woman be involved in the finance of the home, seriously, there's a thing we need to know, that you don't need to really announce to your husband. There's a strategy, there's a way you can do it strategically. When you are buying things that you know that it's not your husband that gave that money to get that thing, it's something you can say, oh, babe, I bought this thing. In fact, it's so cost. I just have to buy, with my money, when I discovered that the one you gave me is not enough. But I just feel like we need it at home. I need to take it. Yeah, I bought it. Jokingly, you can say, babe, won't you say thank you to me? Jokingly, you can say that. But the issue here is, most times, in Africa especially, we are too aggressive when we are communicating. We don't use assertive in our communication. When we use assertive communication in our marriage, in our relationships, there won't be any need for, I am the one that paid for this, you are the one that paying for this, or I want to be part. If you have enough to support your husband, you can readily do it without even explaining yourself to him. Why do you have to be explaining to your partner that you are supporting our home? And that is where the goal setting comes in. Do you have vision when you're going to marry? Some of them will look at each other like, coach, we don't really have vision. No, we don't have goal. Anyway, we will talk about it later. I say, you will talk about goals. You must have a goal in your marriage. If we have goal, if it is well spelled, well budgeted, especially regarding the finance, there won't be issue of who pay what, who is financing this. It will be a kind of complementing each other, and the collaboration, it's about supporting each other. But because there's no vision, there's no goal, there's no, you want to imagine an intending couple that doesn't have goal, you'll be asking for them for the smart goal setting. When you don't have a goal, why will you have a smart goal setting? And this is where premarital counseling is important, most especially our youth that are in marriageable age now. Please go for premarital counseling. This will put you through all the necessary things you need to know in marriage. Marriage has its own challenging. But when we understand how to navigate, it won't be an issue. Challenges are inevitable factors. The more we live with each other, the more likely we are to be having a disagreement. And don't forget, there's no way we are not going to have disagreements in marriage, because we have a personality trait. Something we call personality trait. Individual, we are different. Even gender is an issue. So if we can communicate effectively, assertively, understand each other, have a vision, have a budget, there won't be issue of, I have to tell my partner that I am the one financing this. There won't be any need for that. We will encourage each other. And don't forget, when our husbands, when they are doing their responsibility, what's a demand, we appreciate them. I think it's one of the area women we are lacking. Some will tell you, after all, it is his responsibility to do it. Yes, it is his responsibility to pay school fee, house rent, feeding, provide all this for you. But it is a demand that we appreciate them. In our culture, Yoruba sọ pé yini yini ló máa ń mú orí iṣẹ́ yá. Appreciating people, we inspire them. So we need to learn that power of appreciating our men, appreciating our women when we are putting efforts for marriage to survive.
So much. That's why you've done a great job this morning. And I'm so delighted that you could even join us. You're in town to join us this morning, because you always get in and out. We're so delighted you could join us. You're joining us all the way from the island at Jaleki Access, and it's an honor to have you once again. But before you leave us, we need you to give us a final word of advice to a couple out there. who believes that it's all the cultural thing, old primitive ways, even though they are Gen Zs, let the man pick the bills, he's rich enough. Yeah, even if I'm earning more than him, it's his responsibility. I love the fact that you said appreciation, just like my darling Gen Z host mentioned earlier on our first segment of the program. Appreciation goes a long way, no matter how small, no matter how little. So I need you to just help us give your last word of advice as you take your leave, or what would you want to advise our viewers out there to do? Very short. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Olori. Splitting bills with your partner can be very responsible. Of course, we know that is a responsibility, individual responsibility, but we need to do it with a good and effective communication. Healthy and effective communication. We need to do it in fairness, and we need to understand.
Oh.
Okay, we've been talking about splitting bills with your partner, how responsible, and doctor was just rounding that off. But the long and the short of it is, it's good to do it. Do it from your heart. Do it for the fact that you're in that relationship. Do it for the fact that you said, I love you. Don't marry somebody I like you. There's a difference between like and love. We discussed this on Family and Value some time ago, and maybe we'll need to refresh memories on this. So there's a difference between like and love. Okay? So when you said I love you and you're taking that step into getting, conjugal bliss, solemnizing that relationship, either in the mosque or in the church, in the presence of your loved ones or in the registry, of course, you must, and you must see reason. It's like an obligation that yes, for better, for worse, in goodness, in sickness, and in health, I am with you all the way. So it's not a matter of, yes, now he's the head of the family, let him pick all the bills, and you know, deep down inside you earn more than this guy. I'm not saying you're showing him your pay slip, but you earn more. So there's nothing bad when you sit down and you discuss it, just like our guest said. A big shout out to Dr. Mrs. Alaja Dr. Mrs. Aishat Adetula. She is a certified marriage counselor, a social entrepreneur, and a family and relationship coach. She's been our guest on the show today, 31st day in the month of October 2025, and I believe you had a wonderful time with her, didn't you?
I did. Most of the things she said were very eye-opening. And for the sake of our viewers out there that might be in that situation, they now have a better understanding of things. And I think that is very good.
So it simply means that whatever you do, as much as possible, make sure you put your mind to it. Not like when you want to sit down, like I said, is the oil, the engine room. Communication is the oil and the engine of any relationship. Between a man and a woman, or between friends. Friendship is also a relationship. Colleagues, whatever you have together is also a relationship. So it's the oil. You have to communicate. You have to be able to express yourself. Don't be in a relationship you don't have reason to express yourself. It's just Gen Z's that have been talking. It's my Gen Z that have been talking, and you don't have your own voice. Please run away from such relationship. Run. So from you, as you take our leave.
From me, I would say to our lovely viewers that make sure you are doing the right thing, because deep down you, everybody knows the right thing to do. So don't wait for a situation or a bad moment to actually push you to do what you are ought to do in the first place. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Family and Value. See you same time, same station on Monday. My name is Grace Imakwede. Goodbye.
Okay, I want to leave you with this. Every morning when you wake up, you have two choices. It's either you continue to sleep with your dreams. That dream, we are in October today, last day, October. So it's either you continue to sleep with that dream, you go back to bed, okay, and leave the dream there. I was write it, write it on the plate so that you continue to remember and it can quickly prompt you to go back. The second option you have is for you to chase those dreams. Are you ready to chase those dreams? Do you think you can still make something meaningful out of life between these 3 hours to end the month of October, walking into the month of November? You can still make your millions. I'm not saying you are winning alone. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm only saying whatever you know how to do it well. You don't know who is watching, and you don't know who God has raised to come and compensate you on that hustle that you are into.